What's up, everybody? Welcome to Headset Havoc. I'm one of your hosts, Josh Wilson. Here with me today is the Daywalker, Corey Holder.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
How are you?
Solid. 100%.
100%. For sure.
For sure, dude. Totally agree.
Also here with us is Mr. 7600, Brock Hyatt.
Hello, compadres. How's it?
How's what?
I don't know. How's life? I'll ask you the questions this time. How about that?
It's great. Go for it.
He just
I
did.
don't know where I'm going from here. Yeah, that was the kind of question.
And rounding out the quartet is the Dragon, Zach Smith.
Hola.
How are you feeling today, Smitty?
Well, other than the fact that it just got 10 degrees hotter in my room because I'm back in hell, I feel about as happy as an animal rights activist who has just retrieved a 10-pound ball of plastic bags out of an otter's ass.
I don't even know what to think about that.
That got me. Again.
That was way too drawn out.
It was, but you feel just fantastic.
Yes. And hot.
I don't know how you can be that hot and feel that great. But
It
hey.
is strange, but you know.
Because the heat hasn't really kicked in as much because I've had my fan on. But yeah.
Well, you held out until we said 3, 2, 1 before you cut it off.
I know.
I was like, we still hear a fan, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna cut it off as soon as you hit record. I'm like, God dang. Is it that bad?
Yes. Like, you don't understand. Walk outside. That's what it feels like in my room.
What, like 63 right now?
No,
We're not
we
in
don't.
Indiana.
We're not in, we don't live in Canada.
We don't live in the north.
Yeah.
First of all,
The great
Our
north.
mailbox doesn't say we the north.
I live in Toronto now. I live in the 6. Yes. No, it's currently 62 degrees out currently. Low tonight is 55.
It's like 78 outside right now.
Yeah.
That was the high for today.
The low is 78. It's as cold as it's going to get.
Y'all better get some fans going or something.
Yeah.
Well, I do have AC, but I'm upstairs in my room, what's going to be my studio, and I got to cut my fan off. So I'm not. It's not as bad as Smitty's situation by any means,
Yeah.
but it's not great either. So what's everybody been playing?
I just picked
I
up.
don't do segues. I just jump right to the next thing.
Jumping? Okay.
Yeah.
I've been playing, I know I'm way behind on it, Arkham Knight, and I just started yesterday, and I've been Batmaning the shit out of it. Just everybody. Anyone walks in the way, kicked in the face.
Batmaning the shit out of.
Bingo. I'm talking bat wings, grappling hooks, batarangs, explosive gel, kicking people in the face,
Detective mode.
sliding underneath them, and then picking a box and hitting them in the face with said box. Everything.
Now I've not played any. The only I tell you, I have played one. I played the very first one, Arkham Asylum. That's the only Batman I played. Now I have Arkham I've never played it though.
This is the first one I've ever played. I mean, I've watched the first two played through the entire way on some playthroughs. And this one, it just happened to be PlayStation Network was having a flash sale. And it just so happened that it was like on sale for like $10. I was like, why
Yeah,
not?
I've seen that flash though.
Yeah.
There's some pretty decent deals. I almost always buy something on a flash sale. Just
Like you need any more in your backlog.
I know, I know. And if I still play 2K. I've been working on some stuff for some future content that is just breaking my damn balls.
You chose to do it. You chose to do this.
It's just taking so much longer than I ever thought it would take. But I've been playing a few other things I'm actually going to talk about later on in the show. But yeah, I played. I actually started up Until Dawn. It's the free game of the month if you have PlayStation Plus. Check that out.
So far, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, I haven't gotten really deep into it whatsoever. I've heard really
the
good
first
things.
chapter yesterday.
Now,
How'd you
about
go
how
into it?
What?
Yeah, because last time I stopped playing was like right when you get the control of the character after the opening cutscene.
I played a little bit more than that.
But how many you played the prologue?
I played the prologue, and then I played the first chapter, which is probably an hour of it or so. I know you guys are gonna be mad at me for it, but
I want to say that game's what, like 8-10 hours, something like
Not
that.
very long.
it can't be very long. I mean, I played the first little bit of it.
Because there's multiple endings, and I know, like on the trophy list, you have to play through it bare minimum twice. So,
Yeah.
but what about you, Smitty?
Well, I finally got to Superstar on 2K, so
Oh yeah,
Taking the shirt off, big fella.
yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Josh is the only one to not hit
Yep.
Superstar.
Yeah, but I play a whole lot more stuff, so I just don't. And I got a kid, so I don't get to just. Here's the thing: every damn time that there's a double XP weekend, my wife's got us doing something. Always, we're always doing something. It's just because most of the time it's always on a holiday or something.
Right.
It's like a holiday weekend, so we're always doing something. So, like when our other guy we play with a lot, he ripped up like a whole like 1.5 levels during the last one.
Yeah, he went up like crazy.
Yeah, he was never off the game though. Like
He took
I would
off
get
work
on
like 5 days for the 4th.
That's true too.
I was getting on at random times. Like I got on at like 2:45 in the afternoon, and he's like, "I've been going for like 6 hours. Where you been?" Doing shit, like not playing video games.
But yeah, if you didn't know, we are Headset Havoc, a weekly podcast that releases every Wednesday, rain or shine. Each week, we get together, we talk about the most recent gaming news, give our opinions on it. We also answer your burning questions. We throw in a rogue topic at the end to keep you on your toes and round out the podcast with our band pick of the week. If you're only here for the games, we put those non-gaming segments at the end so you can bounce before we get to them if that's your preference. But if you like what you hear, head over to patreon.com/headsethavoc, where as little as $1, just $1 grants you access to exclusive content each and every month. If you don't feel like it's worth $1, well, that's fine too. Just listening and sharing our content really helps spread the word. And a couple of you guys actually have went over to our Patreon, and we really, really do appreciate that. And actually, one of the tiers is an on-air shout-out, and we do have someone at that level, and I want to shout out a thank you to the Bearded Goblin, Mr. Brody Young. We really do appreciate your support. So,
Keep that beard flossy, my man.
Never
It
met
is-
you, but I've heard your beard is glorious.
Oh,
It's one for the books, dude.
No,
So-
is it that good?
so it's the best beard I've ever actually laid my eyes on. Like I've seen pictures of beards and stuff, but like
Don't
to actually,
lie, you touched it.
I have.
No.
I'm not gonna. I didn't lie. I just avoided it.
When you touched it, did you feel like you could grow a beard twice as good as you have now? Did there powers that run through you or something?
I felt like I could achieve things that I never felt like I could achieve before. That's for sure.
It's a good beard.
It's a,
It is a good one.
it's a great beard. So let's start the podcast. This has been a shit show. This is what happens when you record at almost midnight.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Let's start the podcast with one of our newest segments, Mail Call. And this week there are 4 pieces of mail. Number 1. Telltale Games has released a summer update video announcing Batman: The Enemy Within, Walking Dead's final season, and The Wolf Among Us 2. And actually, episode 1 of Batman: The Enemy Within releases this August. I want to say in like 2 weeks, something like that. Now, I'm a big fan of Telltale Games. Corey, I know you're a big Walking Dead fan.
Oh yeah, love it.
Now, I haven't played. I've yet to play season 3. Now, I'm pretty sure it just wrapped up.
Just finished. I haven't actually gotten to do it either. But
Yeah, I haven't gotten to do that one. I've played part of the Game of Thrones. I've played through, or I haven't finished yet, Tales of the Borderlands. I played all the Walking Deads. I love the Walking Dead games, and just something about the Telltale, and even actually Until Dawn is kind of,
it's in that genre, yeah.
I mean, it is a point and click, but it's also like an adventure storytelling, and I love games for their stories. I play games for, for their stories. But yeah, so I thought that was, now Smitty or Brock, do you guys play Telltale games?
I played Tales from the Borderlands and I loved it. I was actually thinking about re-downloading it and playing it a couple more times.
I do not play.
It was the free game. What, last month? Month before last?
2 months ago.
Yeah, but I bought it. I don't remember when it came out, but I bought it like probably 6 months after it came out. They were running, was once again probably a sale or something, and they had it in the season pass for like $15.
Yeah,
for every single one. So I jumped on it.
Yeah, that's the same way with Game of Thrones. Is the other PS4 free game of the month if you have PS Plus, and I actually already own that one. But anyways, number 2, Nintendo files a European trademark for an N64 controller. Over on NeoGAF, user Rosti has found a Nintendo trademark application in the EU dated July 18th for graphical representations of Nintendo controllers, including the N64. All of this was previously done for the NES and the SNES classics, which would lead one to believe that Nintendo may well be on their way to developing an N64 classic as well. Now, this is interesting to me, because they've already done the NES Classic. That was last year. That was a damn debacle. And by debacle, I mean I liked what the system is.
The
retro games. Yeah, but the fact that they made 5 of them.
Yeah.
That's an exaggeration, of course, but like they just, I mean, I don't get the I mean, it's a business. You want to make money, right? So why are you constantly under delivering product? I mean, people want these. They want these products. And now this year they're doing the SNES, and actually I want to say it was earlier, or this is Monday. So it was at the end of last week or over the weekend, maybe, that it might've been yesterday that Walmart accidentally opened up pre-orders for the system, and they like sold out like almost right away. Apparently it was an accident and they didn't mean to do it, and they actually had to cancel some of the pre-orders. Yeah, so again, like, it's just a fever pitch over these consoles, and I can remember the NES or whatnot, but like the SNES was one that I played with more so. And like I would definitely buy one of these just for the nostalgia factor. But I would give Nintendo money. I'd actually thought about getting these things for all of us as like a gift for Christmas. But like, good luck finding them.
Yeah, especially, and there's no way we're gonna find 4 or 5 of them.
Exactly. I wanted to, like, Nintendo, I will give you my money. Just take it. Or the opposite is I'll just go buy a Raspberry Pi and have an emulator. Like, I'm willing to give you money and pay for this. So I don't understand why they. I mean, I don't know what the thought is behind under delivering. You get the hype and hysteria.
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 Yeah.
It's a great album.
Words, man. Words.
It is a great album. But you get that, surrounding it, and they're talked about, and they're making headlines, but they're negative headlines, I think. So the fact that there's an N64 coming, like, I wonder even what games they would put on them. Like, what name 5 games right off the top of your head that would go on there?
Mario 64.
Mario 64.
Uh-huh.
Star
Mario
Fox,
Kart.
Mario Kart.
Uh-huh.
GoldenEye.
Yeah,
Nope.
definitely.
Well, that's what I was waiting for. GoldenEye is owned by Rare. Which, guess who owns Rare? Microsoft.
I was going to say not Nintendo.
So, like, I played an assload of Rare. I also played an assload of Banjo-Kazooie, also
Yeah.
owned by Rare.
Sure.
So, Donkey Kong Country, Rare.
That's rare. Yep.
So it's I don't know. That's interesting because I would like to see. I guess I would like to see GoldenEye. Although, if you have any of y'all played GoldenEye recently,
No, I have not.
it does
Yes.
not. It does not hold up at all.
It was magical. I don't know what you're talking about.
It does not hold up. You're out of your mind.
Oh, it
I
held
would
up.
have to tend to agree with Josh on this one.
Remember that night we played at my house?
Yes.
Gosh, it was so bad.
It was pretty rough.
It was so bad. Moving on, number 3. Uncharted: The Lost Legacy has officially gone gold. This is via Naughty Dog announced via Twitter that the Lost Legacy has officially gone gold, so it doesn't look like we'll see any delays. I believe that that release date is August 26th.
Great franchise. Great series. I don't care what you want to call it.
I'm pumped for it. A lot of people are sleeping on this game, and I think because there's a little bit of not clear messaging on this game. Like, this is a standalone title. This is
they
an
haven't
8
really-
to 10 hour.
Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, they really haven't done their work to get this game out to the public.
Yeah, it's like when everybody's talking about the games that are coming out, like, this one's not mentioned. This is a full Uncharted game. Now, it doesn't have Drake, of course, in it, but this is a full Uncharted game. I think a lot of people are sleeping on it. I, for one, will be buying it day one, for sure.
For sure.
Let me know how it is. I'll get it.
100%. Number 4. Ghost Recon Wildlands free PvP mode is coming this fall.
I'm going to shit on some kids.
Now,
We still have to beat that, don't we? We haven't even beat that yet.
this, I was really, really excited. I didn't know this was coming. I didn't even know this was part of their plans. But when I read this, I was really, really pumped. So it looks like it's going to be, from what I can tell, 4v4 team deathmatch. It's going to be class based. So we've all four got to play this game. Like this is how we're going to get back into Ghost Recon, because we got to finish this game.
I guess I got to get it, don't I?
Yeah. And you got a lot of catching up to do.
Dude, we probably put 20 hours into it that you haven't played yet.
Yeah.
Eh.
Just
We're
clear
100%.
maps
Yeah, we're 100% in sections.
before we move on. Now, oddly enough, this is actually Ubisoft's best-selling game of the year.
It did a lot better than people thought it did. As much as people bitched and moaned about this game,
Yeah.
I thought it was very fun. It was a breath of kind of fresh air for the shooter genre as of late. It was an over-the-shoulder narco state, kind of piggybacking off like the popularity of Narcos and whatnot. But I thought it was very well done.
Well,
Absolutely.
I mean, that night that me, you, and Josh played the beta, that shit was fun.
I never had so much fun playing a beta
Yeah.
than seeing Josh just launching you and him off the side of a mountain in a car, and Josh just giggling the whole way down.
Yep.
So that's it's like this open sandbox, and like I had fun just dicking off, just playing around, driving, like you said, driving my motorcycle off a cliff, seeing how high we could get a helicopter before we jumped out. I really have enjoyed my time, and it's sad
It's due
that we're
time
getting
to
away
get back
from it.
into it.
It really
It's
is.
a less skeezy version. I don't know if that's the right word for it. Less skeezier version of Grand Theft Auto. As far as the open world, you can do anything you want.
So yeah. Grand Theft Auto has the more perverse and comically, granted, but kind of style, and this is a more realistic. A couple bullets knocks you down. It's definitely a more grounded shooter for sure.
Shout out to Grand Theft Auto, though.
Now, number 5. If anybody hasn't heard about this, and this isn't really news that we would typically talk about,
Whoa, well, hang on. Why not?
but it's a mobile game.
I
I
play
say
it.
typically. I did too. I did as well.
No, I still do.
little bit.
Play
It
it
was-
today when
It was a phenomenon. Like it was it took pop culture by storm. So the news is that Pokemon Go Fest, which happened over the weekend, was a complete and utter disaster. So I got a little excerpt from over at Polygon. Allegra Frank writes, "The game hardly worked for Pokemon Go Fest duration, which complicated its premise. Half-hour sessions where players had to catch them all in order to unlock a special reward were compromised by bugs and connectivity issues. In the end, Niantic promised refunds to all attendees, as well as $100 of in-game credit and a free legendary Pokemon. This came after repeated cries of "fix the game" and "fuck John" from the crowds. from the crowd. So
That's aggressive.
does anybody do y'all know what Pokemon Go Fest was like?
I do not.
It was wasn't it supposed to be in Chicago?
Yes, it was supposed to be it was in Chicago.
I think I saw some like Snapchats or like Instagram things about it, where it's like people at the park, they were waiting for like 45 minutes to get into the park where the fest was happening, where they set up all the like the spots where you get the your Pokeballs and whatnot, and there were special spots. And apparently the park couldn't even hold you. It was too small. There was a bunch. I guess like the article said it was just a shitload of problems, like one after another. Like people weren't even getting into the festival that paid money for it.
So it was it was also extremely hot. Now,
It was.
I don't know about you, but when I start to overheat, I get a little cranky.
Oh, most definitely.
And I mean, that goes for everything, not just if I was at some convention or festival. But so this festival, it was a really cool idea. It was a really, novel idea. They were going to have, exclusive Pokemon that you could catch at this festival. Well, the servers just absolutely shit the bed. Like, so nothing worked. They couldn't connect. They couldn't catch the Pokemon. Now, they gave back, they gave full refunds of all the people that actually purchased tickets, which I think were only $20. But they gave $100 free, like I said, free in-game currency. But the one thing is, you had people traveling from all over the globe, really, to come to this festival. There's people that spent probably thousands of dollars to come to this festival that didn't work. So it's just the whole premise, it didn't work. It didn't happen because it didn't work. It's like the Fire Festival all over again. Not quite. That's an exaggeration.
That's the biggest shit show in the world so far.
Yeah, but it reminded me a little bit of that, of just everybody getting there and it just being a complete and utter disaster. And then the crowd just, rightfully so, I would say almost, just, completely and utterly upset. And like I said, they would come out to, and it was so awkward, and I felt so bad for some of the people that like were trying to host it and like coming out and like giving like updates and like this to a screaming crowd, fix the game, fuck John, which I'm pretty sure is the Niantic CEO, or anyway, he's the face of the organization. And the whole hostile community is actually going to be, that is one of the things that kind of prompted me. It was kind of like the cherry on top. That's like, yep, this is the topic of the show that I'm going to do this week, which is, I know I told you guys about this earlier, kind of gave you kind of prepared you for it, is I wanted to talk about toxic communities in the gaming and how it is very prevalent in gaming. So buckle up, because I'm gonna take you on a journey.
Yes.
Oh God.
I've never been so excited.
So I want to say it was one of the first, if not the first, Madden that had the Ultimate Team cards, where they started doing the Ultimate Team. And you guys all know what the Ultimate Team is. It's similar to my team in NBA 2K. So they had the auction house slot, right, where you could buy, you could buy other player cards, and you could trade amongst other users. So I was younger at the time, and this is the first I didn't really know how this whole system worked, and I had a guy message me on PlayStation and was like, "Hey, I'll sell you this Adrian Peterson card if you'll buy my other 2 cards or whatnot." And I was like, "Well, what are they?" And it was like some middle of the road defensive end and some linebacker. I don't even know who they were. And I was like, I mean, I can put them on my team somewhere. I was like, I'll get Adrian Peterson. Like, yeah, that's hell yeah. And like, so I went and bought them, and I was like, man, these are a little expensive. And he was like, yeah, just buy that one. So I was like, okay, I bought it. And I bought the next one. He's like, peace out, bitch. You just got scammed. And I was like, what the hell? Like, I was like, what happened? So because you spend in-game currency, you spend the coins of I don't know what they're called, MUT coins or something on these cards, right? And I just he just sold me his trash for a premium price that I didn't know about. I had no idea what I was doing. So I got scammed. That's a long time ago. My first foray into basically online communities, because up until then I'd only played, with friends online. So I've been watching a couple of videos on YouTube and stuff about some of the 2K community, because I've been trying to do some content for 2K, and anybody that's listened to the podcast knows that we're big on the 2K or not big in the community, but we're big. We're very knowledgeable about the community, and like I was just like, some of these guys are just like, some of this is just like deceptive stuff. Like there'll be like the 2K18 trailer just released, and like it's obviously fake.
Yeah.
It's not true. And they're like giving like game giveaways in these videos. And I'm like, this is just, you're intentionally scamming people to get views. And I bet you're not even giving away a game. Like, you're just like
clickbait.
It's all clickbait. That's all it is, to get views so you can make money. And it's just, it's completely deceptive. And it's so prevalent in our community. So this leads me up to last night. So I said earlier that we don't talk about mobile games a lot. We all have some idle mobile game that we play. Just we get on, we tap a few buttons, we turn our phone back off, and then maybe the next day we get on, tap some more buttons. It's just kind of what I call an idle game. It's just always going in the background, like a collectathon money, or like a Boom Beach or a Clash of Clans, or something like that. So last night, I am playing this one little game. It's just a tap game, really and truly, just a time waster, and it's one of those where it incentivizes you to watch an ad. And I was like, you get like double like a ×2 coin boost or something for an extended period of time. So I always just click the ad, and I just put my phone down while the ad plays, and so on and so forth. So I noticed this game that it was advertised, and I was like, that looks actually interesting. So I clicked on it. Now this game is called, I think it's called Change for Beggars, or something on that. Virtual Beggar, I think so. That's what it's called. Now I was like, oh, you start off the game like as a guy begging for change on the street, and you like work your way up or to like a millionaire or something. So this is like, I was like, it seriously starts off, you're just tapping the screen, getting coins. I was like, well, this is not interesting at all. Boy, was I wrong.
It sounds awful.
Because there's a chat option in this game. Now, the way this works is you go into, it's called Beggar Chat or Beg Chat. So, and it's like chat roulette almost. So it's you, and you hit next, and it gives you another player, another beggar is I think is what they're called, that pops into the game, and like you can either start talking, or you can like click next or whatnot. So I started noticing that people were like, "Hey, you can get free VC if you tap both of our shirts." Now, what this really does is it gives the other person VC, not you. So they're again just scamming you, because apparently I think it's called a virtual card. The VC is like the premium currency, and you can like give it away in chat or whatnot, but it's like really hard to come by. So they're scamming you like, "Hey, you can get free VC if you touch both of our shirts," and all you're doing is just giving them VC. So they're just fucked, because I look like I have the original, the brown shirt equivalent of a character.
Yes.
All right. Which is another thing. We'll get to that in a little bit later.
That's a whole other can of worms, buddy.
Because people just will not play with a brown shirt in 2K. Anyways, back to the story. So that was probably the first 3 people asked for that. Then the next person, or I'd hit next or whatnot, and people would be like, "VC." Like, they wouldn't say, "Hey," nothing, just "VC. Hey, give me VC." I'm like, "No." And then you would get the one who was like, "Hey, I'm horny." And I'm like, wow. So I started trolling people, because I wanted to do a little experiment. So I stopped, and I got out my little notepad, and I done 100 encounters.
God, man.
100 encounters to get a good sample size, right? All right. So out of those 100 encounters, and I'm not going to count the people that just immediately went to, like, they seen me that I was essentially a brown shirt and went to the next person. All right. So out of those 100 encounters, there was 48 that asked for VC right off the bat. VC, not "Hey, how you doing? Fuck you." Just VC. To which I made them. I said, "Hey, tell me a joke. If you make me laugh, I'll give you VC." Now, out of those 44, 20 of those said "your mom" or "your life." I'm like, that's not a joke. That's you're a real class act. So 44 just VC. So 28 tried to scam you with the one that the situation that I had talked about before. Tap the shirt, or like, "Hey, try and push my character off the ledge," or "Try and push me off the screen." Just stupid shit like that to try to get you to tap the screen. So there were 10 that said, not 10. There was 15 that said something, some sort of sex line. "Hey, I'm horny," or like, "You want to chat," or like, "I'm so wet," just awful shit. And I would just, act completely naive, troll them. I would troll them for as long as they would put up with it.
Oh yeah, that's the best.
And then it would just like, eventually I never spoke first. I never never done any of that, and I never left. I waited till they left. So 4 people just like waited for a long time, and then they would put like dots, and I'd be like, "This is kind of awkward." And they were like, "Yeah," and I'd be like, "Well, it's nice to meet you," and go on. So 4 people were cool. All right. And then there was one person that was a complete asshole, or either you really needed help. So they're one of those people that has the sick twist. In all seriousness, they either really needed help, or they were just being a sick, twisted asshole, talking about they were just going to go kill themselves. I was like, "Hey, I'm not going to troll you anymore." I was like, "If you're being serious, like, here's a hotline. Here's the suicide hotline number. Like, that we can joke and we can play games and shit, but we don't go there, right?"
Oh yeah, it's real, man. I mean,
Exactly. It's real. It's a serious thing. So like, I mean, we can talk shit, but no, we don't cross that line. So, and that left 8 people that were actually genuinely good people that were like, "Hey, are you a noob?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I just started out." And they're like, "What level are you?" And I'm like, "I don't know. What does that even mean?" You know, just kind of trolling, playing along. And they're like, "Hey, let me give you a few tips. Don't give anybody VC." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, blah blah blah." So there were a couple of people I was like, "Hey, I'm actually kind of doing some research for my podcast right now. If any of you guys are actually listening to this podcast, I told you I was actually doing a podcast about this, so here it is." So yeah, 8 out of 100 people were decent people.
that number doesn't surprise me at all.
It seems like a high number.
It's just it's insane, and why is it that way?
Most people are genuinely assholes nowadays.
There you go.
Yeah, but there's got to be something. There's got to be some other reason behind it.
It's because most people think they're sitting behind a screen or behind a computer. They can be, super badass.
So I don't think that this is just a. I don't think that it's just a gaming problem. So
no, not at all.
I think it's more it's everything problem.
Yeah.
It's yeah, like it's not just in games. It's just almost the internet in general. I just think for some reason it comes out a little bit more in games. It's always there. So
it's the head-to-head notion as far as I can get one up on somebody else I'm playing with or against, basically.
yeah, I mean, we're even a little bit guilty about it.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to play with a brown shirt most of the time in the park.
I'll check the shit out of your badges before I do.
You will definitely check their badges.
You check badges in games that don't even have badges, Brock.
Bingo. I check Smitty's badges in games that I don't think he even plays.
Yeah, I don't know why you would do that.
I gotta see how you're doing.
I'm not gonna have any in them.
Gotta make sure you're grinding properly, sir.
Oh,
So yeah, it was just that struck me as like that was something that I wanted to like I really wanted to talk about because it's like that just it bothers me. Like I'm not by any means one to goad someone. Like we don't get in game chat and talk shit. We don't do well. I don't.
I will go. See, this is because I play League and I played Counter-Strike. It's in me to. It's weird because before I would just like there's guys we play with and I just talk shit to them. I really didn't talk shit to other people. Every now and then I would if you were just constantly just running your mouth. But in League and call it Counter-Strike, man, you could make a simple misplay and that 99% of players make. You went in too deep to war, you didn't frag the right spot, whatever. And you will, in Counter-Strike, because there's game chat within the game, they'll kick you. They'll threaten to kick you, and if that doesn't go through, they'll just berate you for the rest of the match. In League, the new thing now is because Riot's starting to crack down on, they call it flaming, or being toxic in chat, because in chat, you can't talk to people unless you're in a call. You can say whatever you want to people. And they're starting to crack down on it. And so now what they'll do, you make a bad play, you can signal enemies missing, and it's a question mark because you have no idea where they are. Mm-hmm. And they'll just do it over you until like the game says you have to wait for more pings. Like they'll just keep doing it. And then they'll tell you to, I've had people tell me to kill myself, uninstall.
Oh yeah, that happens all the time.
I've been told that my mother should have swallowed me. It gets bad. Like, but like Josh said, I mean, Corey said, it's because if you walked up to him in person, none of these people would be like, kill yourself or your mom should have swallowed you. They never would say that. They'd be like, oh, how are you doing?
Yeah, I don't. I'm of course relating this to a gaming experience, but I think it goes deeper than just gaming. It's just that the way most of us interact with one another is through a computer screen or TV screen, or so it's through the internet. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, there's a lot of times that I've seen it in high school. Someone comments on a Facebook post, and it gets misconstrued.
Yep.
And then, so the person that gets pissed off about it goes ready to beat other person's ass. And the dude's like, whoa, what's going on? And the guy's like, you're talking shit. And then they talk it out. And then they realize that you can't detect inflection in your voice and sarcasm over a text message or writing on a screen, that it's like, it was a misunderstanding. Now, sometimes the dude's still like, fuck it, I'm still going to fight you. And other times, like, oh, my bad, we got miscommunication. And they let it go. But, yeah. But no one also talks to each other anymore. And that causes a lot of problems sometimes.
Well, yeah, it's like you said, nobody can understand, or you can't convey tone or body language through an email or through Twitter or through Facebook.
Yeah.
Now, you can in game chat.
In game chat, I can let you know what you're doing wrong with your life.
Yeah,
and if that character needs to ever come out of storage ever again.
Right, it's just, yeah. All I'm saying, everybody out there, is we can be better people.
I really think that's the whole message here. I think it's the whole golden rule thing, though, man.
Don't be an asshole.
Just don't be a dick.
Yeah, that's a big one, too.
Don't be a dick.
Yeah. I mean, life's too short to be a dick and be shitty to everyone all the time, man.
Words of the day. Don't be a dick.
I mean, you could die fucking tomorrow. God forbid that happens, but still. Like, you don't know when the last piece of sand ticks in your jar.
This is true. I didn't mean for it to turn all philosophical, but we
Hey,
did.
man.
We did, because I do believe this issue it goes a little deeper than just video games. So
I tried to reel the video games back in. I agree. You made it deep when you decided to do a social experiment.
well,
Yeah, you did.
I thought it was an interesting. I was like, damn, this is like, you. First off, you guys are trying to scam me, and then you're only asking for VC, and then like when I was like, I would troll them. They would like screw you or to hell with you, or they would just leave, or people were trying to sext, and I'm like, Jesus.
They wanted to put it on you.
Like I'm like, here was another one, because this one like overlaps so many other ones. I didn't include it as a statistic. It was like they would do M or F, so male or female, right?
Yeah.
I would always be like, I think it's spelled morph. I think that's what, like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
You should have been like, I identify as an Apache helicopter.
There's another one. I would be like, I'm actually gender neutral, and they would leave.
On everything except physical, I identify as a wolf.
And I'm like, I don't understand. Like, so I was just like, okay, well, you're a bigot. Just I'm leaving right off the bat. Or another one I hit him with was like, well, I was a male, and I'm like, was, and I'm like, well, I'm transitioning over, and they would leave. So like, I was just completely trolling people like constantly.
Yeah, we're gonna get some hate for that little segment right there, I have a feeling.
Oh, I mean, I wasn't being disrespectful, but I was just trolling people. Like there are people like that, and like people just automatically leave. They don't actually try and talk to people. Now there were people that were in that 8 people that continued to carry on a civil conversation with me that would be like, oh well, okay,
That's cool.
and yeah,
That's
just,
cool.
just like keep talking, and then I'll be like, hey, I actually have been trolling people. That's not true. Blah blah blah. Here's the deal. So, yeah, I mean, I don't want to get no hate for it, because I didn't mean to be disrespectful. If you take it that way, I apologize. But that was me trying to do a social experiment for science.
You should have done it in all caps. Been like, social experiment gone wrong. Just a prank, bro. Millions of views. Could have got millions of views.
Right.
Clickbait the shit out of kids.
Clickbait. Then we'll just
Clickbait
we're just part of the problem. We're not talking about finding the solution.
Well, apparently they don't care because they're making dumb YouTube monies off of that. I mean, dumb monies.
Well, I don't want that. I don't want us to be that. I want to be part of the solution and not part of the problem. So I'm a big Kind of Funny fan. If any of you have listened to this podcast and have also listened to Kind of Funny, you can definitely tell that I take a lot of inspiration from those guys. So I want to breed a good, well-intended, or community with good intentions. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
I listen to a lot of hockey podcasts. Does that count for anything? They're good people. You ever talk to some hockey players?
I've never talked to hockey players.
Talked to Wayne Gretzky's son one time at a bar.
I've heard this story.
Very nice kid.
This is a good story, yeah. I don't know that it should be told here, but it is a good story.
I was of age. I mean, he was playing for a minor league baseball team that came to my hometown. Just happened to run into him at a bar afterwards and drank with him and shot the shit all night. Very interesting kid. Says he doesn't play hockey because of his dad. Which I don't blame him.
Yeah,
I don't blame the kid at all.
I don't blame him either. It's like if I was, one of Jordan's kids, I probably wouldn't have played basketball.
But they did.
They did, but like I probably wouldn't have. Like those are it's like impossible to fill those shoes,
Like Layla Ali. She tried to box. Like, whatever you do, you're going to be compared to your dad. Like, you could have a fantastic career, whether it's Gretzky's son or Layla Ali or Jordan's kids or whatever. You could have a stellar career. But you know what? It's, oh man, but his dad did this. Or man, the numbers just aren't the same. It's like, listen, you can't expect him to be the exact spitting image of what his dad did.
Yeah, no matter what his gene pool looks like.
Even though he has a leg up on everybody.
Yeah.
So the moral of the story, be better people out there on the internet.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick, exactly.
And try not to be a really good athlete's child, if all possible. And follow in their footsteps.
So that pretty much wraps up that topic. I'm gonna go to another one of our newer topics is listener mail. So I think I've got 4 questions. I think it's 4 questions today from our listeners. It's the same exact people that wrote in last time, but hey, keep writing in. I love your questions.
Can I read and answer the first one because I feel it's directly towards me?
Part of it was towards you. Yes, you can read the first question.
CoolCam26, shout to 305, says, what is the best gaming system that has been made and why? And the second part is, why has Brock not applied to be a professional gamer from home? I didn't think I was, like, what do you mean by professional gamer? Like, go pro? I ain't that good, man. I just do a lot of research because I hate losing.
Yeah, we're not by any means great at video games. We just really love them and love to talk about them.
I mean, I will dumpster a kid on like Black Ops 2, though. That ain't a problem. Like, the
Brock,
business can't...
Brock, do not be a dick.
I said dumpster, didn't say I'd talk shit. That's not being a dick, Corey. I'm just stating facts. Like, if me and you 1v1...
Sometimes facts don't need to be stated.
If me and you 1v1'd, I would just say leave the map. It's not going to work for you.
That's being a dick. You could just...
To you, though. It's okay. I talk to you on the daily, though.
I think you can... I think there's a place to shit talk your friends.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm shit talking.
So, yeah.
Dumpster all 3 of you.
I believe, like, 3v1?
Oh, yeah.
No way.
I'm snapping AM94s and the MSMC to the domes. I play a little bit of competitive on that. You understand that, right?
Well, see, why didn't you go professional?
Because I could never get a solid team with me. We would start playing. One of our
Church
teams,
League doesn't count.
First of all, at Church League softball night, I went like 4 for 5, Smitty. So bite me. We said a prayer before the game too. Very nice one. Second of all, no, it's every time you start playing, you win 1 or 2, and then you lose a couple because it's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. Everyone starts bailing. No one's consistent. No dedication.
Gotta have dedication. Now, as far as the first part of that question, what is the best gaming system that has been made, and why? What's y'all's thoughts on that one?
I mean,
Current
mine's
gen.
gonna be it's gotta be current.
Either the Xbox One or the PS4. I mean, they both have their pluses and minuses, but
Yeah.
just the capability of what they can do visually and the games they can support. It's just like you guys talking about GoldenEye earlier. It doesn't translate. It's because we are so fortunate to look at games in high def that it's like you go back to an N64 game and you're like, I actually thought this was hot at one time. Like this was the move.
Yeah. What about you, Corey?
Yeah, it's got to be a current gen. I mean, the nostalgia factor will eventually wear off. I mean, to Atari or Super Nintendo. I mean, those games are awesome, and they obviously were precursors to everything that we do now. But it's got to be a current gen system of some sort. I mean, that's up to not up to me to decide. My favorite obviously is going to be PS4 because that's what I own. But
but I mean, the Xbox One's just as capable.
yeah, I mean, an Xbox owner was probably going to say, "Oh, gotta have the Xbox."
And the only reason I would lean more, the only reason I would lean more towards PS4 is exclusives.
Yeah, because up until this one, the Uncharted and all that stuff. Up until this one, it was free to play online.
Yeah,
but I mean, that's neither here nor there anymore. Yeah.
I mean, even the prices aren't that bad. Isn't it up to like $70 a year now?
it's 60.
Is it 60 now?
Yeah.
Okay, because it was 50.
It was 50. Yeah.
Okay, and people complained about the price hike, but I was like, you understand you're basically paying like $5 a month for a full year to play. Like that's the price.
And you're getting multiple free games a month.
Yeah.
So
And you only gotta buy it on one account. Like on my console, I have like a backup account, and no joke, as long as I have PlayStation Plus on my main, I can play online games on any account I make on my system.
See, I didn't know how that worked. I wasn't sure how that worked.
Now, I don't know if it's like, if there's something weird with like downloading games that you have onto someone else's profile. I don't know. I tried to do it at my buddy's house and it didn't work, but
yeah, I'm not sure how all of that digital sharing. I don't think you can. I don't think you can digital share on any platform right now.
But you can put your, like, my buddy has a
put
PS4.
in your information and then download it to his console.
Yeah, and it wouldn't let it run, and we downloaded it off of mine.
I think it probably has to do with making whichever one your primary console.
That probably has a lot to do with
Probably
it.
the situation.
And mine's my primary, so.
Like, so where I mostly am digital, I'm pretty much strictly digital with the occasional physical copy of a game. If, like, right now, actually, the PSN Networks is down. I wouldn't be able to play my digital downloaded games unless this is my primary console. So it's probably has something to do with that.
Yeah, see, I still get physical games because how am I supposed to get hosed by GameStop on trade-ins if I don't,
That's true. I don't trade. I collect. I don't trade in.
Oh, no. When I'm done with you, I'm done with you. I got rid of, like, 14 games, like, 6 months ago. Took them all in.
You got $12.
Yeah,
Actually-
$12.84.
Actually, I got, like, $35.
Holy Hannah!
You broke them.
They said, hey, your trade-in's $35. What do you want to do with it? Well, I plan on using the money regardless for a pre-order. I was like, all on the game. I didn't know what to do.
For sure.
I panicked is what I did.
So I think with the way this question is worded, that as far as best gaming system, I probably would have to say that the best gaming system is one of the current gen as well, and probably as far as technical specs, the Xbox One X that's coming out, that's going to rival the PS4 Pro, or it's going to actually trounce the PS4 Pro in power. But if capabilities is what you define as best, then I'm going to go with that as my answer. Now, if you're talking about what's my favorite console, I'm going to go with the N64. And that's just because of the nostalgia It just pulls. It's strictly nostalgia. I know that there was serious limitations with cartridge based games, especially in this era, and that's why we started switching to discs. But the nostalgia and sitting playing with my brothers and my friends on the same TV split screen, like nothing tops those memories for me in my childhood. So favorite
Speakers.
Exactly. Favorite yeah. Favorite N64. Best, probably one of the new gen. I mean, even these new gen consoles most of them play a lot of the backlog. Especially on the Switch, they don't have it yet, but the Virtual Console will be coming over. And so you can play on the Switch, you can play N64 games. You could do that on the Wii. You could play NES games. You could play SNES games. So, like, that console plays these other games. So, it's probably always going to continue to be, to be the newer consoles. Or PC Master Race, right?
Right.
I think that's a different topic for a different day because
that's a whole can of worms that we don't need to open tonight.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a definite main topic for another day.
I wouldn't be able to really talk about it much, so
I can't because I have enough friends that have PCs.
So let's see. The next question, Hank the Tank writes, "What is your view on games switching to third-person views rather than traditional first-person view games?"
Say Call of Duty goes to over-the-shoulder third person.
So didn't they do that in one of the Modern Warfare 3? Didn't they have an over-the-shoulder mode?
No. I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure they did.
Hang on.
I'm almost positive that Modern Warfare 3 had an over-the-shoulder mode in the game. I can't remember. I can't remember what it was called. I can't remember what actual mode was called. I think it was only like 2v2 or 1v1.
I don't ever remember, and I played the living piss out of that game.
It was it the one gun thing you could do?
No, I know what you're talking about.
You're talking about like party games.
Gun game.
No, I don't think they did. The only game I remember that has like that is I remember it's kind of related, but it's like when Grand Theft Auto 5 put that patch in where you could play the whole game first person rather than over the shoulder third person. That was the first time they've done that in franchise history, and it is wild to do.
So, the third-person modes in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 are exclusive to players that are ranked 19 and up, and the only playlist that allows third-person and third-person team is third-person team tactical. Although there used to be several others, but they were removed. So, yes, there was third-person Call of Duty.
You said Modern Warfare 3.
I thought it was Modern Warfare 3. I really did. I would have bet money Modern Warfare 3, but I guess it was Modern Warfare 2. So
yes, I got 15th prestige and I didn't find it. So
didn't they end up having 20 prestiges?
I quit at 15 because it was getting close to the release of Black Ops 2.
That's just asinine.
And
it
was
toxic. That's a toxic community right there in itself. But that's neither here nor there either.
The 12-year-olds. What'd you do? Your mom? Oh, we get it, kid. You banged my mom. Ooh, whoop-de-doo.
I'm just talking about the prestige limits and all that stuff.
I just hit you with a no-scope. You got no-scoped.
Yeah, that's why party chat is one of the best things.
Yeah, see, y'all are different than me. If I got into the game chat, I muted everybody.
I muted everyone except the people on my team.
I didn't even I muted the people on my team unless I knew you.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
I muted everybody other than the people that I knew.
Now, my favorite thing to say to those little kids that say you got trick shotted and whatnot is tell them to put that in your COD montage that no one ever watch. It's a little harsh, but it's a reality check that life hits you fast.
Your COD montage. We'll have to do a 2K18 montage at some point.
I'm down.
You know who we need to get a hold of, Josh. And you know who I'm talking about.
I know exactly who we need to get a hold of.
That
dude's fantastic.
Oh my god. Could you imagine the way he'd make Smitty's ferocious one-handed alley-oops look?
I would say his name, but I can't remember.
I can't remember it either.
I can't remember it right off the top of my head. I would love to give the guy credit. For
Go
sure.
watch Agent Zero. It's his like top 10.
YouTubers of the year or something.
Yeah,
Dude, he's so good though.
it's Agent, and it's 2 zeros. And it's one of his more recent ones. And he puts links to their channels in the description.
I'm pretty
watch. He's
sure
like-
he was number 3 on his list.
I thought it was 2.
It's something Calvin.
It's like RTM,
Yeah,
something
it's like
that.
RTM Calvin or something.
Oh, and it's just absolutely fantastic work for like, and it was like only like 35 seconds, and I wanted to see like a full like 10-minute video of it.
He does fantastic editing work. So, what's my views on, back to the question, my views on games switching to third-person views rather than traditional first-person? I mean,
Depends on the game. It could kill it.
I don't care one way or the other, really and truly. I mean, if you're talking about a game like Call of Duty that switches or goes third person, so if you take a first person shooter and make it third person, I think it's going to be. I just think that's not that game. That's a different. It becomes a different game at that point to me. But like, I don't have a problem with a game that is always one way. So, like
Resident
Division.
Evil.
like the Division. So, actually, Resident Evil brings up a good point because the last one, Resident Evil 7, was
Bingo.
first person.
Bingo.
Yeah, it went the opposite way of what you're asking. So I don't, and that was kind of refreshing. I mean, I don't care as long as the mechanics feel right. However you want to present your game to me, you want it to look like it doesn't. I don't care one way or the other.
Yeah.
I just think if like a Tom Clancy game, it's like SOCOM, notorious for like third person over the shoulder. Call of Duty, first person shooter. God of War, third person over the shoulder. Actually, some of the older
more
ones are just third
universal
person,
view.
like
Yeah, free cam.
crane
Yeah.
view. But they're still third person. I think if you make like a God of War first person, it's not the game we think it is today. If you make Call of Duty a third person over the shoulder, the aiming is completely different. Like if we go from like the Division to go play Call of Duty, the aiming is completely opposite of each other.
Right.
Well, not only that, it's also being able to see your well, of course, your point of view, but like seeing around corners, you can move the camera in a way that your body is concealed behind a corner, but you can see around the corner.
Yeah, I mean Gears of War is not a third person shooter.
Yeah,
Gears of War is
Halo
a
is
third person shooter. Halo's first person.
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean I mean most of the games that you think of when you think of like that's a first person, that's a third person, like they're so ingrained with that's it. I don't know if the masses would get the switch and they would be excited about it. Because I think a lot of people complain if Call of Duty went third person. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, probably.
What do you think, Smith?
I mean, it depends on the game. I like Call of Duty being third person, but
It's first person.
First person.
First person.
yeah, I mean, first person. But I was thinking about the next thing I was going to say. I don't think I could play the Division and have it be first person.
Yeah,
Well, the thing about the Division is there's so many things that you
Going
have
on.
to do. Like your HUD menu is
Yeah.
fairly extensive. So, I mean, you couldn't really keep that in a first person game.
Yeah, and it being based after a cover-based shooter, which no one plays it as, but if you play like PvE and you're doing like the incursions and missions, it's a cover-based shooter. There's no way it could be first person. It can't.
No, your view's far too limited.
I mean, if they want to make like a hardcore mode and it had to be first person, I think it would be a little different. I think it'd be interesting.
Well, yeah, that's similar to the same argument with PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds because your visual representation of your character is so important in that game. Like if you were in first person in PlayerUnknown, then you may not realize you didn't put your armored hat on because you can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
You may not realize, that you don't have your body armor on, that you didn't put on the new boots you picked up, or because your character, like seeing your character is vitally important for that.
Oh yeah. Still can't wait for that to come to console. By the way, I really want to see how they're going to do it.
I'm jonesing to find somebody that has a PC that I don't have to travel 10 hours like to see you.
Oh, okay.
To play the game.
I feel you. That's how it's going to be. Yeah.
Not last question. Third question. Weston writes in, what is your favorite character in any video game?
Oh. Of all time? Oof.
Of all time.
There's so many good characters, though.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
That's a good question, though.
My first gut reaction was a Metal Gear Solid game, Solid Snake. But then, I was like, well, you played as Solid Snake, and then you played as Big Boss.
Yeah.
And you played as Raiden in the second one, basically, almost the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So, do I want to give that, because I'm just a fanatic when it comes to Metal Gear Solid, but I don't know that I want to give that. I don't know. I'm torn. I'm really torn because if I give it to one, I got to give it to all of them, and that takes 3 characters away. Just right off the bat, there's 3 characters. I couldn't pick, so I'm gonna have to give it to somebody else. I'm not. I gotta keep thinking. I don't have a clear answer yet.
See, I'm torn between Kratos and Sam Fisher.
I like Sam Fisher. I'm not. So here's. I am a God of War fan. I enjoy the gameplay, but Kratos is a terrible character because he's so one-dimensional. He just screams and yells, and he has pure rage and hatred and vengeance.
And I like it.
So, I mean, yeah, for some people, yeah, but like I said, I've always, and that's what was so cool. What I love seeing in the newer trailers is he's showing some range of emotion, because the gameplay has always been, top notch, but that character development needed some work, and I want to see what they've done as far as I'm pumped for that game for sure.
Now, I'm more leaning it's more Sam Fisher than it is Kratos. Kratos is just because when I first started playing those games, I was on such a mythology kick for some reason that it was just a bug that was itching, and it's all there. But I read the Splinter Cell books, and I've played every single Splinter Cell that's come out, and sometimes there's more backstory on why he does things and how he is, and then you go play a game after reading a book that's well, because this is happening and this is happening, and that's why he acts like he is. He doesn't let anyone close, and you're like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. What about you, Smitty?
See, like I've said before, I've never played many games that had a main character like that. So I'd say the one that I played the most would have to be Horizon. So Aloy.
Okay.
She was, I don't know, I think she fit well into the plot of the entire story.
I love that it was a female character.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been, I don't know, if it would have been a male, I think it would have been weird.
I completely agree. I don't think that game would have been nowhere near as good, or as impactful as it was with a female lead.
Yeah.
Corey, you got to answer yet?
I'm leaning towards Ezio.
I thought also Ezio,
but he's not. I think he was cut a little short.
No, I don't think so.
I would have liked to have seen more.
So
three games, and there was a finite ending to it, though. Like,
I know. I'm not saying that it was cut short as far as. I wish his story would have continued instead of
Desmond's.
Yeah,
Well, you needed
I guess.
Desmond,
I
though.
understand why it is and how it had to happen. I just wish that there would have been more to it.
I wish there were, to that point, I wish in those games, I wish there would have been a little bit more with Desmond doing like assassin shit. Because you get like glimpses of it, like in like for little spots in the game. But like other than that, it's like you're in the Animus all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's always been like a sticking point for me was in AC3 was that Desmond of course dies. Like
Right.
at the end of the game.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
You've had
Hashtag
time.
spoiler alert.
You have had time to play that game.
This game's 12 years old.
At the end of the game, of course, he dies, and like I feel like it was almost a little bit of piss poor planning, or they was like I don't know because like where have they went with the present day stuff since then? They've been all over the map.
It's definitely different.
Well, they kind of after he died because they went to what was the next one? Black Flag.
Yeah, yeah, it was Black Flag after
yeah, I
that.
believe
It was
so.
Black Flag Unity Syndicate, right?
Right.
Okay, so it seemed like in Black Flag, it was like because they've always teased like other subjects, like in what is it? 2, the first one with Ezio, Subject 16.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Subject 16. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And there's theories, and I'm not saying I have no idea, but there's theories that like Black Flag and then Unity and Syndicate are like are 16. It's just they kind of like
I see what you're saying.
and those are like theories. I have no idea, but there's no because I mean, at the end of 3, which I thought was until Syndicate, I thought that was the best one.
Oh yeah.
Like you like from 1 to 3 because I mean there's 1, 2, then what was the second Ezio one? Brotherhood, then
yeah.
Revelation,
Yep.
and then Ezio ended. You built a connection with Desmond and Lucy and the dude and the
The
computer
other
lady.
dude.
Yeah, like you built like connections over the course of 4 or 5 games, and like you were like, I don't like that guy, but these guys I do like. I don't want, and like at the end of it, you're like, oh shit, like there was a it almost felt like they were ending the whole series because it was a finite ending to the whole Desmond story.
Yeah.
It was cut clean, and you knew what was going on and why it was going on. And then they come out with Black Flag. I'm like, wait a minute, how are you gonna do that? And you're some unnamed dude. That's how they've been on the last 3.
Yeah, and I always thought Ezio was one of their more better developed characters. I'm a big Ezio fan as well, Corey.
Yeah.
I'm just a big Assassin's Creed fan, though.
Me
Yeah,
too.
I mean, just in general, the series is top 2 or 3 in
We'll
the
be
game
getting the new ones.
history
I can
for
ride
me.
camels and slide down pyramids. I don't need to do anything else. That's all I'm gonna do.
So I've been thinking, and I think I've got it narrowed down to 2 characters. So the first one is more obvious, and that's Nathan Drake.
Yes.
Ooh, not a bad one. Not a bad choice at all.
I just have Naughty Dog is just A class. You know, they're just A class games, and I've grown 4 games with him. Well, 5 if you count Golden Abyss. With Nathan Drake, and that character is just Nolan North does such a great job of voice acting him and bringing that character to life.
He does a great job on every character he does, though.
That's
I haven't found a Nolan North character that I don't like.
Him and Troy Baker are 2.
Yes.
I love those 2 guys, and they're actually together. They're both in Tales of the Borderlands, and they're Troy Baker is in Uncharted 4 as well. He's actually voices Sam, Nathan's brother. So
Speaking of Troy Baker, I think this is gonna be kind of random, but I think he's on a show on Twitch. It's like a Dungeons and Dragon thing. I think it's called Tabletop. I want to say, and he's like the host.
that would be cool. If that is true, I would watch that.
I think I've watched it a couple times, and he does all kinds of crazy voices, like drop of a hat. But like everyone there is like really good. That I get into the voices and stuff, even though that's like face cams and whatnot. It's pretty entertaining.
My second character, holds a special place in my heart, and that is Clementine from The Walking Dead.
Oh gosh.
I thought you were gonna say Mario, to be honest with you. I was waiting for Mario
Clementine.
from the Telltale series.
Yes, from the Walking Dead series.
Oh,
You're not the first person I've heard that say that though. That has been like, Clementine is the shit.
I actually cried in the first game when the first game ended.
absolutely.
Did you?
Yeah.
Never played it.
I actually cried. You owe it to yourself to play that game.
If you don't
I've
play any
never
of the
seen
rest
The
of them,
Walking
play
Dead.
the first one.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't. It's not tied to the TV show whatsoever.
No, not at all.
It's its own independent story.
I'll watch the gameplay video of it.
So with watching the gameplay, you don't get to like play out the choices. So they don't vary wildly, but at least you feel like you have some impact on the story and craft your own story. But I definitely recommend playing that game because yeah, she was by absolutely my favorite female character, and I guess Drake would be my favorite male character.
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie though. I teared up a little. I don't know about Corey, but he might have too. As much as the Infinite Warfare, the new Call of Duty is absolute dog shit. 100%. That story mode, one of the best Call of Duty story modes I've ever played.
Hands down.
And at the end, spoiler, you've had almost a year to play it. I'm gonna tell it. When he gives himself up to save the rest of humanity. I was getting a little teary eyed. I was like, oh, I'm about to cry. Oh yeah.
Then your world will be rocked by Clementine.
Oh,
I don't
dude.
want to get that emotional. I refuse to do it.
Dude.
There would be no crying like a child in my room in the near future.
Last question. I'm moving on. We're running long. Last question. The Bearded Goblin writes, what was your first game console and game? So my first game console was the NES. And there was a plethora of games that my dad brought home. I'll never forget it. My dad came home from work, and he was like, look what I got. And he had an NES and like 5 or 6 games. And the first game that was played, that I ever played, was Super Mario Brothers. So, easy answer for me, NES, Super Mario Brothers. Almost cliche at this point, but that was my first console and my first game.
Sega Genesis, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Damn you. That was mine too.
I mean,
We can have the same
you can
one,
have the
Smitty.
same one, honey.
I know, but I just
He wanted to feel special. He wanted to be the
I wanted
Sega
to be
kid.
the Sega Genesis guy.
Remember, I am the child of the group apparently, and
You're right.
yeah, water softener. Mom and dad bought a water softener. It was a 32-inch box TV or Sega Genesis, and I got a Sega Genesis. Didn't even ask for it, just got it.
There you go. What about you, Corey?
I remember my sister having an Atari, and I remember playing Pitfall. I don't know that was the first game that I ever played, but I know that was the first video game I'd ever played. Which, granted, there were already NES and all that stuff out too.
Right.
But I remember playing the Atari because I remember her coming home and getting it out, and her and Dad playing it. I remember Pong and all that, but the first game I remember actually playing was Pitfall.
Okay.
My uncle had the cabinet Atari. And I used to go up to his house across the street and play Pong, and that was pretty sweet.
I remember her and Dad playing Pong and things like that, but like I said, the first one I really played and enjoyed was Pitfall.
Speaking of Pong, that's who our first guest should be. We should bring my dad on, and he could talk about Pong and Galactica and Pitfall and all that good shit.
Yeah, I have no points of reference for Atari.
Yeah, he lived that shit when apparently we were talking about it the other day, and he was like, "What y'all know about Pong and Galactica?" I was like, "Not much, to be quite frank with you. I don't know anything about it."
So, rogue topic. Who has the rogue topic this week?
Me.
All right, Smitty, go for the rogue topic.
First explicit CD that you were either given or allowed to own. Mine, I'm gonna start this off. Give y'all a point of reference. The year was 1999.
I was 7.
You might have remembered a guy by the name of DMX. Flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood. My friend Matt gave it to me. I think I might have had it for 48 hours before my mom found it and broke it.
None of that devil craft in her house.
Oh no, that was far from the stuff I listen to now.
But yeah. So mine is, does anybody else, well, I know you won't, Brock, but Smitty or Corey, do you guys remember Sonny's Music?
Yes.
That was in the mall?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
they didn't card you. They would sell explicit albums to kids, basically teenagers.
That's my kind of business model.
So
Well, those teenagers working, and they just like, piss on it.
yeah.
Josh, that's the one that I was telling you about earlier that moved over there where Sage Sport is.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I only remember them in the mall.
Yeah, it was over there where Sageport is now, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
See, we didn't venture to that side of town.
That was the upscale part, right?
Yeah. So
With the Walmart and stuff.
exactly. So oddly enough, that's where Walmart used to be.
Yep.
So, anyways, regardless, so Sonny's Music out of business now. They would sell albums, of course, to people underage, and it was my 6th grade chorus trip. I want to say, yeah, we were sang at the mall or something. I can't remember the.
Christmas
it was
music. It was Christmas
yes,
music.
Christmas music. Yep, that's exactly right. Sang at the mall, and afterwards we got to shop. Now this is an extremely small mall. You gotta know that we came from a very small town, and so everybody was going into Sonny's CDs and getting our explicit CDs. Thong Song was a very big one at the time.
Cisco,
A lot of people. He's done a remix to that.
No, I didn't.
Refuse to listen to it. It's like a techno remix.
It's like a 2017 remix. It's not bad, but it's not. It messes with my childhood. That wasn't my first album though. My first explicit album was Kid Rock's "Devil Without a Cause."
Hell yeah.
Great album.
That was my first explicit album, and I too, like Smitty, had it for roughly a day to 2 days before my parents found it, and I was like, "What is this devil worshipping? A devil without a cause? What is this?" And listen to it. Now, of course, the opening track's "Ball with the Ball," and it's just listen to it, and of course, that was when Kid Rock was way more explicit, was heavier, better, in my opinion. So, yeah, and they didn't break it, but they did take it away from me, and I had to, sneak and find it one day. But that was my first explicit album.
I don't remember mine, but the first one I remember ever actually having and not being just, kind of like you guys, what is this crap, was the Korn Freak on a Leash album.
Great album. I listened to that shit.
That was
in,
sixth grade-ish time. Fifth, sixth grade-ish.
Yep.
I listened to it when I was in 6th grade. It was a little older by then, but
I was watching that shit on TRL on the afternoons.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. TRL. Oh, gosh, TRL. Carson Daly. That's when
that shit was wild.
That's when the best boy band ever, NSYNC, was really popular.
Oh,
yeah.
Don't you say
just
that.
piss someone off.
Hey, there's no denying that NSYNC's the best boy band. You can deny it, but you're wrong.
Yes.
So
yes.
I feel like Josh will literally go to war on this argument for all night if we got him on it.
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, I've had multiple conversations with Corey's wife about this.
Absolutely.
I send her pictures. So this is kind of funny. I send her pictures every time because we have Sirius XM radio in Megan's car, and so every time some boy band song will come on from the 90s, because my wife listens to that 90s on 9 station. Every time some boy band comes up, I will screenshot, or I'll take a picture of it and send it to Alicia, and I'll be like, still better than the Backstreet Boys.
Oh, Lord.
Mine is going to be a little different because, remember, I'm the young blood of the group. My middle school years were when LimeWire was the hottest shit in town.
Yeah. Oh, I remember LimeWire.
Yeah, you gave your computer aids to get free music.
Exactly.
And I did on a daily, didn't care. We had Nortons or something like that. I just got on there, got wild. And you burnt CDs still, because I didn't have like an MP3 player yet, but I had like a...
And we had Nortons. I didn't care.
Did you get it at Staples?
Maybe. I don't know. And I was like 12. I don't care about those things. And so I remember, because I wrestled, I ran cross country and stuff, so I always had music before I did anything. And I had Eminem, Lose Yourself. I had Tupac. I had Biggie. I had Naughty by Nature was on there. I think I had like Petey Pablo, Usher. I had like anything and everything on there. And my mom one day came in my room because I had a CD player in my room, playing music, cleaning my room, and I think the words she heard were "fuck that bitch," and I get full name. She middle named me. And, with the quickness, I snapped around. She goes, "What are you listening to?" I was like, I'm listening to Tupac. And she went, "Where did you get Tupac?" I said, "LimeWire." She goes, "What's that?" Young enough, I was like, "It's on the computer." I got the next day, LimeWire's gone.
Naturally.
Let's put a parental block on there.
Here's how you can tell the age difference, because we have albums. Brock's downloading music.
Yeah,
We have
That's how you
CDs.
Yeah,
we had to go to the store.
exactly.
When I was really young, I had tapes.
I had tapes too.
I had tapes.
I did too. Yeah,
Bro,
I had
you had tapes.
Jamming
because
in the
your parents
90s.
had tapes. I actually
You
owned
had tapes because they were retro.
Yeah.
I was born in 92, you ass. And I remember going to the store and buying 8701 by Usher.
Oh, I had that.
Yeah.
You had it on tape?
I had it on CD.
Oh, I had it on CD. I was about to say.
I don't think that he had that on tape.
Now, speaking of records, I found this the other day, and I need to get a record player. My mom, apparently back in the day, being my mom, we have Michael Jackson's Bad in my closet on a 45.
Yeah, I guess it can stay there.
You hate Michael Jackson?
No, I actually like some of his songs.
He hates
I actually love
everybody
them.
else.
That's a topic for a different day. So typically at the end of the show, I'm going to do something a little different because of some stuff that happened this past week. Typically at the end of the show, and I haven't really ran this by you guys, but I'm sure you'll be cool with it. So typically at the end of the show, we give our band pick of the week. Now, I'm probably pretty sure that we have all been listening to the same exact thing because of what happened this past week, and that was Linkin Park's vocalist Chester Bennington killed himself, actually. And I've been playing, I have been listening to, Spotify actually has, and like This Is Linkin Park playlist that I've been like listening to on repeat. Mm-hmm. So I know that's what I've been listening to.
I told you that earlier too.
You told me that earlier. I know Brock mentioned it that day that it actually happened, and I actually haven't gotten to talk with Corey a lot, so I don't know where he's at, but as far as that's concerned. But so I would think we all collectively as a group would say go show Linkin Park some love in this this rough time. Go listen to some of their songs. They really did put out some great music.
They're a part of my emo phase in middle school.
It's kind of odd because it's almost like putting I think one of my buddies worded it. It's like putting a stamp on the end of my childhood.
Yep.
So yeah,
I remember when Numb came out.
And to know that I was less than a month away from seeing him live.
Yeah,
really
we talked about that in a podcast.
Yeah, it kind of gets me.
Hey, like after Robin Williams committed suicide, to say sometimes the people that smile the most have the darkest to hide. So
Yep.
Yep.
So
don't be
there's
afraid. to talk to people. If you have any of these thoughts, there's plenty of people out there that will willingly listen, and don't ever think that you're not wanted in this world.
Exactly. In all seriousness. So there's our serious moment of the podcast. Right at the end. That's the way we like to do it. Right at the end. So I'll do the whole spiel. If you didn't know, through this whole shebang, we are Headset Havoc. We're a weekly podcast. We release every Wednesday, rain or shine. Even if Smitty cuts out during the middle of the recording, we get in there and we edit it as best we can, and we still put it out on Wednesday. So
it'll be there, damn it.
It will be there around 9 a.m. Around 9 a.m. whenever I get to it, but around 9 a.m. on Wednesday.
YouTube, it will be at 9 a.m.
Well, you can get that one ready.
Hell yeah, I scheduled upload it.
And if you like what you hear, head over to patreon.com/headset havoc, as some of you have already started to do. We really appreciate it. Where as little as $1 grants you access to exclusive content each and every month. But
it's a private podcast for you and you only.
It is a private podcast, exclusive to you. But that is all. It is getting late, guys. It is past 1 o'clock. I'm ready to go to bed. And until next time, this is Headset Havoc, and thanks for listening.